It seems like no matter how successful you are at realistic art, you get to a point where you yearn to break free and do some more loose and imaginary style. So, do all artists who paint in realism eventually do abstract? Well, I decided to take a look at historic and current examples. The first one who jumps out is Picasso, who is the most famous example of realism versus abstract. By age 14, he could draw like a classical master. But years later, he had conquered realism and needed a new challenge, so he started breaking the rules and doing abstract. It's amazing to me to think of such an art prodigy mastering realism and getting bored with it, and then becoming even more famous because of his abstract work. Another example is Wassily Kandinsky. He was a Russian guy born in 1866 and was the first really famous abstract artist. He started out painting traditional, realistic Russian landscapes, and then the story goes one day he was in his studio and he saw a painting leaning up against the wall that was just beautiful. It just was emotional and very, very moving to him. And then he realized it was one of his landscapes that was sitting upside down. So it made him realize that realistic objects could get in the way of emotion, and a painting could move someone through pure color and form, the same way instrumental music can affect you without needing words. A modern day example right here on YouTube that to me really hits home is the artist Kayla Carlisle. She does realistic paintings of women underwater, the hair's floating, very beautiful, surreal type things, but hyper realism. I see her YouTube videos now and then, and I was wondering how long could she keep doing this? Not that selling paintings for a lot of money isn't great, but she's pretty young and has a lot of art years in front of her. And literally, how long can you keep doing the same subject and the same realism before you yearn for more freedom? Well, sure enough, a while back, Kayla did a video where she was talking about that very exact thing. She was feeling kind of pressured by her collectors because they wanted a certain thing. Obviously, she was making a living with these wonderful paintings. But how do you handle doing realism after you get bored with it? And she's at that crossroads right now. But I know one thing, her eyes light up when she talks about doing abstracts. So I think I know where this is all going for her. One more current example on YouTube is Nicholas Wilton. If you have cruised any painting videos on YouTube for the last 15 years, you've probably seen him. He started out as an illustrator. He lost his job as an illustrator. He got divorced, and he was at a real crossroads in his life. So he started painting abstract and never looked back. He teaches and paints and has a great art life, all because of the joy of abstract painting. So for me, I used to try to draw perfectly as a kid. Realism, everything had to look correct. And that continued on into my adulthood. I used to draw from photos, but over the years I became really dissatisfied with having to rely on a photo for reference. It just, somewhere along the way, I yearned to break free and make my art more personal and coming from within. I needed more joy, more fun. It needed to be more fun and not like a chore and feel like a failure when things didn't come out perfectly. So now I do imaginary painting and unexpected colors and shapes pop into my paintings, and it's a lot more fun than realism. Even to this day, if I use a photo for anything, like, to see what a certain flower looks like or something, I can feel myself tighten up and I start to get concerned about, is this correct or not? So I have banned myself from using photos. Once in a while I'll look at something like for example, when I first started painting buffalo years ago, I didn't see a buffalo every day, even though I lived in Montana at the time. And you have to kind of get to know what the shape is. So it's okay to look at something and see how it is. But to look at a photo and try to depict what you see in the photo, it will completely tighten you up. And I have broken free of that, and also being judgmental of my work, although that's still a tough one. I still want to say, oh, I like it, I don't like it. When you paint abstract, there is no right or wrong. It's just you and your colors and the canvas and the tools you want to use, the scrapers, the brushes, the paper towels, the straight tubes of paint, whatever you want to use. So tell me, what stage of art are you at? I'd love to know if you have a similar story of leaving realism behind for abstract, or maybe you're just thinking about it. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.